Today I'm transforming 2 pieces and giving them a full cottagecore makeover, step by step so you can follow along without any issues. The timestamps are in the description. First up, I'm starting with this jumper, and for that I'm going to use some plaid fabric scraps and lace trim. All my projects start the same way, trying out options and building the design in your head before you even think about cutting. This plaid fabric was from a vintage skirt I shortened years ago, which is why the longest strip still has some seams in it. Once I have the design in mind, I start cutting the scraps. To mark everything, I use a heat erasable pen, and I'm not going to stop recommending these. Ever since I discovered them, I use them in every project. I cut the strip that's going on the skirt right down the middle to make it longer, so it can wrap all the way around. Then I cut the pocket piece, making sure to leave enough seam allowance for the hem, about 1/2 inch on each side. I detach the pocket from the bib, and don't worry, it's going straight to my scrap pile waiting to be reused. The first thing I do is join the 2 long strips, first with a straight stitch, and then, since this fabric frays like crazy, I finish the edge with a zigzag stitch. That way it's nice and secure. Here I decided to add another piece to the strip because it wasn't going to be enough. So I just repeat the same process as before. And to flatten the seam and make it look like the other joins, I sew over it one more time with a straight stitch. Using a cutting mat in between the skirt layers so it's easier to pin, I'm going to attach the strip all around the hem. Here you can see that since it's a skirt, it's cut with a slight curve. So I'm going to go around pinning it to follow that curve all the way around. Then I'm going to baste it, taking a piece of advice you left on my last video. Use a contrasting thread color so it's easier to unpick later, since this is just a temporary seam. While I'm at it, thank you so much for all the comments you always leave. The feedback helps me so much, so seriously, thanks for taking the time. Now, back to the machine. Except my seat is taken by the supervisor. Here I'm going slow because I basically don't want to mess this up. I'm just using a straight stitch. And I'm also keeping your advice in mind about not pulling the fabric while sewing. Although sometimes I forget, as you can probably tell. Your girl is learning. Now pinning again. But again, since it has that slight curve, what I do is measure with the tape at the same height and place the pins right there. I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit of a pain, but it's necessary. The good thing is that since the hardest part is already sewn, this time I'm not gonna baste. For this part, I want to add some zigzag trim, and I feel like someone more advanced could probably sew it on at the same time as the edge, but I don't trust my sewing skills enough for that yet, so I straight stitch first and then add the trim. And now it's the pocket's turn. First, I folded the top for a clean finish. Then I apply the lace and the trim. One thing, all the sides of this pocket are zigzagged so it doesn't unravel from the inside. And now, finally, I hem the rest of the pocket. When placing the pocket, of course I mark the center and make sure it's straight. For one last detail, I'm going to use this needle tip bottle. It's filled with fabric acrylic paint, and I use this tool instead of a brush because it's so much easier to control. If you're interested, I left links to all the materials I'm using in the description. And this is the result. Now it's this oversized denim jacket's turn. We're going to transform it completely. The first step is going to be dyeing it. I'm using powdered fabric dye in beige. And as the package says, I add boiling water and dissolve it really well. Once it's dissolved, I transfer the dye to a bigger pot with more water. This water doesn't need to be hot, and the pot I'm using holds 40 liters, although clearly it doesn't need to be that huge. I submerge the jacket and make sure it soaks evenly, stirring it like this for a couple of minutes. And then I let it rest for 30 minutes to an hour, stirring halfway through so there are no harsh lines. Even though the dye is beige, you'll see it doesn't come out beige. And that's because it mixes with the base color, which is light blue. Just so you know. Then I wring it out, and I can throw it in the washing machine on a short cycle to get rid of the excess dye. Once it's dry and pressed, I'm going to paint it, keeping the colors of the jumper's print in mind. This stencil is part of the Whimsy bundle on my website. I'll leave the link below if you want to download it. I also have a video showing you how to make it by hand without a Cricut. Link for that too. Even though I'm taking inspiration from the jumper's colors, I don't want it to look identical. So I decided to go with cream and brown flowers, plus green leaves. The idea with this jacket is to make it completely floral, and since I'm doing 2 rose colors, I'm painting the light ones first, leaving plenty of space for the brown ones. By the way, if you think my stencil looks a little warped, it's because I had the terrible idea of using my hair dryer, which I used to dry paint on clothes, to dry the stencil, and the heat made it curl up. But hey, it still works, innit? To paint the back, I'm using a cutting mat or something rigid inside, so all the buttons and front pockets don't press through and transfer onto the back while I'm painting. With stencils, the ideal is to get the surface as flat as possible. Now switching to brown, but I also decided to change the green to a lighter shade so we get a bit more visual depth. A little advice. In retrospect, if I had to stencil this jacket again, I would have done all the roses first, and then painted the leaves in the gaps last. I decided to add some brown touches on the pocket flaps and also on the hem, emulating those vintage jackets that came with different colors. And I was almost done, but it was missing something, and that was these little stars. So I painted them in the empty spots to give it a more magical touch. And this is the result. In the last video, you asked to see the full outfit on, and whenever it's my size, I'll do it. So here it is. Although it's a little out of focus, and I clearly only noticed when I was finishing the edit, so sorry about that. Baby steps, you know?
And we just sing along, and I can't help but feeling, just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together?
See you in the next video.
If I could stop the time.